Hey guys, so today I'm here with the Injen X Pedal Pro throttle controller fitting all 2018 and newer JL Wranglers. So if you've noticed a little lack in throttle response, if you've added larger wheels and tires, if you've just added a little bit of weight to your Jeep and it just doesn't have that get up and go that it used to, a throttle controller is a perfect solution to gain some of that throttle response back. This one by Injen is going to have a number of different features. You will be able to improve your throttle response with the sport mode, but you're also going to help out your fuel efficiency with the economy mode as well as the normal modes. Now what you're essentially doing when you're adding a throttle controller to your Jeep is eliminating that delay between when your foot hits the pedal and when your throttle body opens. So from the factory you do get that delay, but with this you either get to eliminate or adjust that delay, which I do really like. So I would like to mention that this is not a tuner. It's not going to give you any performance gains. It's not going to give you any horsepower and torque gains. It's strictly focused on that throttle response. So if you are looking for those extra bells and whistles, I would check out some of our tuner options. However, if you're not concerned about performance, if you just want some more get up and go out of your Wrangler, this is going to be a perfect solution. Now I do really like how this looks. It's very modern, it's very sleek. It has that stainless steel border and a black face, so it's going to match perfectly with the JL interior. And it's also very user-friendly, so it has 3 buttons in comparison to some other options that just have one, and you have to continuously click through them to get to your preferred setting. This has a mode button and an up and down button, so you can pick your mode and pick the level of what you want, making it very user-friendly and very simple, which I do really like. So this is also going to be pretty affordable for a throttle controller at roughly $180. So in comparison to other throttle controllers, this is going to be a little bit more simplistic, keeping that cost down. It's not going to have a million different modes, and it's not going to have some features that others have, like Bluetooth compatibility, but I do like the simplicity of it. It just helps out that much more in making it user-friendly. Now on that note, this is also going to be a lot cheaper than a tuner. So with tuners, you do get that throttle response, but you also get that extra bell and whistle. You do get the performance gains out of a tuner. So if you're strictly concerned, like I mentioned before, about that throttle response, this is going to be a way more budget-friendly solution. Overall, I really like the design. I really think that it fits very well in that price point for what you're getting. Overall, a very quality build, and it's going to be super easy to install. So speaking of that install, it's going to be a 1 out of 3. It's going to take you no time to install this, but you do have 2 ways that you can install this and bring power to this device. So you either have the option of plugging it into the OBD2 port for power, or you can wire this up to a 12-volt source. So they do give you an option on how you want to install this. If you already have something plugged into your OBD2, or you just don't want this plugged into your OBD2 and to live there, then you can wire it up to that 12-volt source. Otherwise, it's going to be super easy, guys. So let's jump into that install. The tool that I used for my install was a flathead screwdriver. So for this install, there's going to be a couple of different moving parts. What we're going to do first is plug in our wire for our accelerator harness. So one piece is going to go into the wiring harness, and then the other piece is going to be plugged in to where your OEM wiring harness was originally. So we do have to head underneath the dash. It is going to be a little bit difficult to see. However, this plug in or the wiring harness is going to be directly above your gas pedal. Go ahead and head underneath there. So this may be a little bit difficult to see, but right on top of our gas pedal here, we do have our connection. So there is a red tab on the front. We're gonna have to pull that out in order to release it and then ultimately unplug this. So it may be a little bit difficult to pull out at first. So if you have a flathead screwdriver, you can just tuck it up and behind that red tab up at the top and then pull forward. And you should have enough room to kind of pull it out and release that. So once that's released, we can go ahead and wiggle that off. Then we can take our wiring harness that we're going to sandwich in between. So we are going to plug our new wire. This is going to be exactly like your OEM one. We're going to plug that right where we unplugged that last one. Should hear it click, and then we can push in this red tab, make sure it's locked in place, and then we can attach the other side to our OEM harness. So then we can go ahead and plug that one in and press in that locking tab. So that's going to lock that into place. And then on the other side, we're going to hook this into our control box. So you also want to make sure that this is out of the way of your brake pedal and your gas pedal. You definitely want to stay safe with that. And we do get some 3M tape in the package so we can keep that up and out of the way. Now we can take our control box and our wire that we just plugged in and plug it into where it says pedal on the top. So since we do not have anything plugged into our OBD2 port, we're going to utilize that for our power for our throttle controller. So we can just very easily plug that in. And now we will have power to our control box and we can plug in our display screen. So what we're going to do now is connect our display to our control box. Now we want to make this as clean as possible. So what I'm going to do is just drop our wire down behind our steering wheel here, and it will drop out down at the bottom. You may have to reach your arm up underneath here and grab it, but there is a passageway where we can grab it pretty easily. So I'm just going to tuck that in the slit where our steering wheel adjuster is and kind of push that downward. So while that is being pushed down, we can reach up behind here. So that's going to keep it pretty clean. Then you don't have to take off any paneling, and it makes it pretty easy. So we're just gonna let that hang there, and then we can grab our control box. So then after our wire is passed through behind our steering wheel, we can plug in the bottom of the wire to our control box where it says display. So after you have everything plugged in, you do want to make sure that you're cleaning up that wiring in the footwell there. You want to make sure that it's out of the way of the brake pedal and the accelerator pedal for safety reasons. So what I did was just tuck it up underneath our steering wheel and use some zip ties as well as some 3M tape to keep it up there and make sure that it's not going to fall down. So after that is all tucked up, we can take our display screen and the 3M tape provided, and we can go ahead and peel that off and mount up our display. So you can go ahead and attach that provided 3M tape. You can peel off that 3M backing. Now mounting this up does come down to personal preference on where you want it and what your accessibility is going to look like. I'm just going to mount it up here for visual purposes so you guys can see the display. Make sure that's out of the way of our light there. And that should stay in place. And you're still gonna have access to your buttons down here. So after everything's all plugged in and all ready to go, we do need to sync this to our ECM. So we will have to go through a sequence with our ignition as well as our display in order to get it synced up with our computer. So our first step is just going to be to turn on our accessory 2. So on your ignition, it would technically be your accessory 2. We have a push to start, so we're going to put it on run. And that should light up your screen. Then we're gonna go ahead and push mode and hold that down until it counts down from 7 to 0. So now it's gonna display an L on the screen. You wanna make sure that you're not gonna step on the pedal because the X pedal is gonna learn the 0% throttle position. So after this, we are going to either press up or down, and it's gonna display an H and all of the arrows down at the bottom. So now we have to floor the accelerator pedal so the X pedal can learn the 100% throttle position. So then with the foot on the pedal, we need to press up or down, and it will switch the screen to a 0. So after that, your syncing is complete. You want to make sure that the syncing is correct by pressing the mode button. Once you do that, it should throw you into sport. So sport mode is going to be up at the top, it's going to be in red, and then in that you will have levels that you can adjust. So the higher you go, the quicker your throttle response is going to be, and then so on and so forth with the bottom button. To press that again, that's going to throw you back into normal. You're not going to have any up or down or adjustment with that, but pressing that again, it's going to throw you into economy mode. and you will be able to adjust your levels with this as well. So really, that's all that's going on with this controller. It is very simple, very easy, and user-friendly. So after it's all synced up and you are familiar with the modes, you're all set to go. So that's gonna wrap it up for my review and install, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, and for more videos like this, always keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.